Hey everyone, welcome back to Brady Reads. Of course, I'm Brady. Today's book we're going to be discussing is The Storm Crow by Kaylin Josephson. Totally great read. Absolutely loved it. It's fantastic. Fantasy, whole new world. Wonderful, wonderful book. I'm not sure if this is Kaylin's first book, however, it is the first book in the series. So this is The Storm Crow, and the series is called The Storm Crow, and I don't know what the next book will be called, but it will be coming out July of next year. This, however, comes out July of this year. July 9th is the release date of this book. I loved it. Really, really loved it. Like, it is fun and exciting, and you have elemental crows, hence the name Storm Crow. Elemental crows that do magic through the kingdom and work in conjunction with their riders, which are the people who have a magical connection with the crows. And so each crow has a rider, but not each person has a crow, if that makes sense. So I'm going to list you off, name you off the crows, the types of crows. There's 8 different types of crows. By the way, these crows are not your average day garden variety crows. These are magical giant crows that can be ridden. They're big enough to fly around with people on their back. So that's pretty huge. So, and exciting. Like, I'm like, wow, I want one of those crows. Like, who doesn't want a crow that can ride? Give me some riding leathers, strap me to this thing, and let me go. And that's what they call their harnesses and saddles and stuff. And it's not technically a saddle, it's more like a leather strap with some stirrups on it that you kind of hang on to with reins that are not, they're connected to the crow's beak in a fashion, but don't prevent it, like, it's not like around the beak, so it doesn't prevent it from opening its beak or anything like that, but it more or less just helps you hang on, because the way they describe it is your sense of control is just a sense of control. You don't really have, like, it's not really a symbiotic relationship, but it's a magical relationship between crow and rider. There is mutual respect, mutual trust, and just a magical connection. So the crow feels what the rider feels, the rider feels what the crow feels through their magical connection. There's a form of communication going on there that allows them to really work together, and that really fosters that mutual respect and mutual trust between the crow and the rider. So again, multiple crows, but not every rider, or not every person has a crow, but every crow has a rider. So I guess there's not as many crows as there are people, would be a good way of describing that. But at the same time, they're not needed. Not everybody needs a crow. If everybody had a crow and was a rider, then you wouldn't have bakers and blacksmiths and farmers and just stuff like that. So let me read you off the names of these, the types of crows, and we'll go from there. So there's the wind crow and the shadow crow. I get the page to turn. Battle crow, water crow, earth crow, storm crow, hence the name, fire crow, and sun crow. This book is called The Storm Crow, and it's about a specific storm crow. At the very beginning, you start out, you meet Princess Althea. She's called Thea in the book, Princess Thea. You meet her, and she is riding a crow. So you get this wonderful sensation of flying through the air on a crow's back and seeing the kingdom from way up high. So there's a celebration going on. It's the winter solstice, and there's a celebration going on that night. So she has borrowed, without permission, her aunt's crow and is flying through the air and obviously taking it back to the rookery or nest where the crow lives, but she's borrowed it without permission for just a little joyride. Kind of like 16-year-old taking a car out for a spin without permission, parents' car out for a spin without permission. So it's kind of like that, but it's a crow instead. So you're flying through the air. So it's a little more, I guess, intricate or involved than necessarily taking a car, but still thrilling for the person doing the taking, I guess. And I for one am all for this. I'm like, oh my gosh, a crow you can ride. Yes, give me some riding leathers and strap me to this thing. I love stuff like that. I still ride roller coasters. I still, oh my gosh, do the sky coaster. If you go to Six Flags, depending on where you live, your Six Flags should have a sky coaster. And the sky coaster, if you don't know, is this little thing they strap you into harnesses. And I said little thing, it's not little at all. They strap you into these harnesses and they connect you to a cable and they pull you way up here in the sky. And I don't know the exact number of feet, but it's probably a good 200 feet in the air. I don't know, 150 feet. I'm not sure. I'm not the best guess at that, but it's way up there. So you're way up here, strapped to this harness, to this cable, and you have a ripcord that you have to pull. So they count it down for you, and you pull your ripcord when they get to 3. And you come swinging down, and you swing and swing and swing until finally you stop swinging. Or they catch you with a hook and make you stop swinging. But it's totally fun. If you're afraid of heights, definitely don't do it. You might have a little bit of a panic attack or something up there. But if you're an adrenaline junkie, I'm not necessarily an adrenaline junkie. I just like having fun, and those kinds of things are fun to me. I love roller coasters and that kind of thing. That's kind of what, like, I feel like that would feel like just being strapped to something and not in control, other than trusting your crow to get you where you want to go and get you there safely. So I feel like that's what that would be kind of tantamount to in our world. Just strap yourself to a harness and you pull your ripcord and saying, here we go. So totally in on that, though. If we come up with a way to ride some crows, count me in. She's borrowed her crow, her aunt's crow, and she is flying through the air. So I love that you get that sense of freedom and kind of exhilaration in the very beginning. Unfortunately, the kingdom is attacked along with their crows. Just devastation befalls. So then the princess that we've met in the first of the book has now lost everything. She had only ever dreamed of being a rider her whole life. She had trained since early childhood to be a rider. She has done nothing but prepare herself to be a rider. This was the night that she was going to get to pick her very own, and not pick, the crow picks the rider, but she was going to get her crow. It's a ceremony at the winter solstice. There's a big sky dance with all the crows and all the riders, ceremonies, and eggs are hatched, and there's a ceremony for the egg hatching. So the eggs are hatched, the hatchlings then get to pick their riders. It's this very, very cool thing, but then disaster, of course, strikes, and she doesn't get to pick her crow or find her crow, or doesn't get to pick her. Either way, she doesn't get her crow. There is devastation, and now the kingdom is in shambles and ruins, and they have to figure out how to come back from that without the help of the crows, because again, the crows are attacked, and they can't use the crows aren't there to help them rebuild their kingdom. So it's devastation and loss and depression, just deep depression, and she has to first dig her way out of this depression and overcome it, and then find a way to fix the problems that they now face. But then on top of that, you have that one power-hungry, crazy person. It seems like just life is full of them, not just, it's not always in just stories. There's that one power-hungry, crazy person just about anywhere. So they have theirs. And so the kingdom of Rodair, where the princess Thea is and grown up, and that's her kingdom, she now faces that power hungry crazy person from another kingdom called Althea. So Althea has attacked. They weren't able to take over, but they were able to weaken. In their weakness, they know that they wouldn't sustain another war or battle, I get. Yeah. So they wouldn't survive it. So they're looking for ways to get out of it, not have to have a war, not have to engage in battle or combat, because they know they wouldn't sustain it or survive it. So the Princess Thea is the youngest. Her older sister Khaleesa is the oldest, and she is now queen of the kingdom. They're both struggling. Khaleesa has to agree to a demand from the power hungry crazy person, and the power hungry crazy person is asking that Princess Thea marry the power hungry crazy person's son, the prince of Althea. So really, it's, if you don't want me to invade you, then you're going to have to align yourself with my kingdom through marriage. So the unmarried daughter has to marry the unmarried son and create this alliance, this connection between the two kingdoms. They obviously don't want this, but have no other options. But they're going to find options. They're drastically looking, searching, hunting for options. Not all is lost, but at the same time it feels like all is lost. So they agree to this marriage because, what else are you going to do? You've got a massive army at the border of your country threatening to invade and wipe you out if you don't. So you agree. So Thea unhappily realizes that there's nothing else she can do, so she has to go along with her sister's agreement to this marriage. But in her desperation to not really find anything at that time, at that moment, she was more or less just trying to escape. Just, this can't be real. She really hasn't promised me to this crazy person's son who's probably just as crazy as she is. She takes off running, and she runs to one of the rookeries, and she finds an egg that was missed in the search for survivors. And she finds it by sheer accident, but she finds it and she rescues it, but she doesn't know how to hatch it because, again, the eggs were hatched in ceremony at the winter solstice. She was not privy to how that was done. She didn't know what the ceremony was because only the ruling king or queen at that time performed the ceremony in secret to hatch the eggs. So she has to figure out what that ceremony or secret is that hatches the eggs, why they all hatch at the same time, and what causes them to hatch, and how to do it. That's one of the main goals and struggles. Not really a struggle, but it kind of is a struggle. It's here's what I want to happen. Here I have to figure out how to make it happen. So she's got this egg, and she's got to figure out how to hatch it, and do it in secret without the crazy power hungry queen finding out that she has the egg or that she's trying to hatch it, because what do all crazy power hungry people do? Steal it. So she obviously is wanting to prevent that. So she's doing that. She's trying to figure out how to hatch the egg, and she's having to do it in enemy territory because since they have agreed to the marriage between her, Thea, and the prince of Althea, the crazy power hungry queen's son, she's had to smuggle the egg with her to Althea in secret, and now she's trying to figure out how to hatch it in secret while in enemy territory, and it becomes this just cat and mouse game almost, just trying to figure it out and trying to hide the fact that she's trying to figure it out in the first place, because you don't want the power hungry crazy person to steal the egg or damage the crow or anything else. Since they've agreed to the betrothal, the marriage between the two, she's now had to travel to Althea with the son and live in the palace of the power hungry crazy person. Always fun stuff when you have to live in the same place as the power hungry crazy person. So lots of danger, lots of intrigue, lots of secrets and planning and trying to escape, and just this ongoing what is going to happen next. So it's incredible. And they're, again, like, they're trying, the power hungry crazy person has invaded and taken over and demolished other kingdoms. So they're not the first kingdom that this has happened to. So there's others. So now they're trying to create alliances, but to do that they have to hatch the egg to create the alliance, to get people to ally with them, because without at least one crow that can perform magic and do things to help, nobody's willing to really jump in on that. It's just this constant, oh my gosh, what is going on? And again, it ends open-ended. It doesn't leave you on a cliffhanger. It's a nice ending, as far as it, kind of like a safe stopping spot. I think it's a safe ending, but you know that the story's not finished. It's quite obvious it's an open-ended ending, so you know that the story isn't finished. There's more to come, and thankfully, yes, it is a series, and this is the first in the series, so you get to get the rest of the story later on. So this comes out in July of this year, July 9th, and in July of 2020 the second one comes out. So super excited about that. Can't wait to see that. Oh my gosh, like really sucked me in to this. The world building, the character development, everything was just so good, so spot on. Made you feel like you're really right there with them, seeing what they're seeing, and going through these just dangerous things with them, and I really enjoyed that. That was really a fun read from it. Like, yeah, it was definitely a fun read. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't put this down. And anytime I can say, oh my gosh, I can't put this down, I love it. I love being sucked in like that. I love having that visceral reaction to a story, just that I have to know what's going on. I have to know what's happening next. I can't put it down. So there were several nights that I was sitting up going, I have to go to bed, I have to be up early the next morning, but I can't stop reading. Oh my gosh. So yes, definitely one of those really great reads to get just sucked into, just kind of an escape. Like for me, like I most people, I think, read as an escape. And again, we're hanging out at the store in the window, and traffic, and apparently someone set off their car alarm in the parking lot. It's okay now. But great read. Really enjoyed it. Cannot wait for the next one. Really cannot wait for the next one. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna like bide my time and read other things, but really looking forward to getting the second book to the series and finding out just exactly what all goes down and how it goes down. And I'm not sure how many books there's going to be in this series. I have not been informed of that. I just do know that there is a second book coming out, and it's coming out next year. So I don't know if it's a trilogy or a series, and I don't know how many, but I'm pretty excited to see where this thing goes, because it's really fun. And again, this is The Storm Crow by Kaylin Josephson. Fantastic read. Check it out. Find it in your local bookstore. Find it in your local bookstore. We all have a local bookstore, and we all need to support our local businesses. So remember that. Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, they're great. They're fantastic. Love going to Barnes & Noble and Books A Million. But when you've got a local bookstore, support them. Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, they don't need our help as much as the local bookstores do. So if you're seeing this and you're watching this, check out your local bookstore. You might be surprised and pleasantly surprised at what you find. Again, when you support local, you support your community. When you support your community, everybody wins. I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to give any spoilers away. Again, it's a fantastic read. I can't say enough about it. I really enjoyed it. And Yeah, if you're a fantasy fan, you're gonna love it. There's no way around it. You're gonna love it. Check out some of my other videos. I'm gonna have another video coming out soon, hopefully. You know, with kids and business and husbands, it's never like I plan for one thing and then just, yeah, I've learned not to make plans because who knows what's gonna happen. So hopefully there will be another video coming out soon. Go back and watch some of my others. We'll post a link here to at least one of the others, and I don't know which one yet, or I would tell you. Haven't thought that far ahead. But check it out. Go watch it. You'll love it. Give us a thumbs up and a like, and hit the bell for your notifications. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought. If you liked it, didn't like it, what we can fix. Everybody have a good day. Bye.